Good morning, students. I am Abhishek Sachdeva from Raipur Khalsa College of Engineering, and this lecture is for Civil 6th semester, and the subject is Professional Practice. And today we are going to discuss the analysis of rates for earthwork in excavation. So, in the previous lecture, we have discussed the sources of the analysis of rates. Sources includes the CPWD Analysis of Rates Volume 1 and Volume 2, for which I have shared the links also. So considering that Volume 1 and Volume 2 issued by the Central Public Works Department, today we will discuss the various parameters, the various components of analysis of rates pertaining to the excavation works. So this was the standard format for analysis of rates, which we have discussed in the previous lecture also, which includes the serial number or the code, then the description, then unit, quantity, rate, and amount. So this is the standard format. This format it will be used for preparing the analysis of rates or for preparing the analysis of the items which are under the non-scheduled items. Now, students, you can see this item 2.1. This basically item, it is from the DSR, that is daily schedule of rates. In the previous lecture also I have explained you the daily schedule of rates. It will give us the rate, and the analysis of rates. It will give us the bifurcation of the rate. So you can see 2.1 item, it is the earthwork in surface excavation not exceeding 30 centimeter in depth but exceeding 1.5 meter in width as well as 10 square meter on plan, including disposal of excavated earth up to 50 meter and lift up to 1.5 meter. So basically it is applicable for all kinds of soil, and the rate for 100 square meter of the work, that is 5044.15. So basically this item, it is for the surface excavation. It is clearly mentioned in the statement also, earthwork in surface excavation. So surface excavation basically it is the excavation which is not exceeding the depth of 30 centimeter. That means the excavation is limited to 1 feet only, not more than 1 feet. So if we are considering the excavation up to the depth of 1 feet only, that particular excavation is known as the surface excavation because we are not going to the depth. So the units for the surface excavation, it will be the square meter, and the rate 5044.15, it is against the unit of 100 square meters. Otherwise, if we talk about the earthworks, the unit is cubic meter because this item is of the surface excavation. So we will consider this the unit as 100 square meters. The unit will be considered in square meters. So the items which include the surface excavation, the unit is square meter, and the items otherwise which are related to the excavation works, the unit will be a cubic meter. So you need to be very careful during while attempting the questions. Either the earthwork in excavation is surface or it is the normal excavation. So for all kind of soil, as per the daily schedule of rates, the rate is given to us. Now the bifurcation of this rate, it will be taken from the CPWD Analysis of Rates Volume 1, same item number 2.1. This is the bifurcation. Same item, earthwork in surface excavation, and same code 2.1 for all kind of soil. The rate is 5044.15. How this rate has been derived? This is the analysis of that particular item. So this is from the analysis of rates volume 1. So students, you can see this detail of cost of 100 square meter and average depth 15 centimeter. So average depth has been considered 15 centimeter, and we are preparing the detail of cost of 100 square meter. So if we look into the various components for this particular item, the basic items, the basic components, they are the material, then the labor, and then the machinery. These are the basic components of the analysis of rates. Now, for this particular item, the item is the surface excavation. So, it will not be including any material component. So, the material part, it is not considered in this analysis. Then, second is the labor component. Definitely, labor will be included for this particular item to execute this particular item. So we have included the labor component over here, that is the beldar and the coolie. And if we talk about the third component, which is the machinery part, as the item is of the surface excavation only, so it can be done manually. So no machinery has been considered while preparing this analysis of rates. Now students, the format, you can see code number or the serial number, then description, unit, quantity, rate and amount. Labor component has been considered, that is Bildar and Kohli. Rate, definitely they have been taken from the DSR, right? The rate for the Bildar, it is 329 rupees and a unit is per day. That means for one day, the rate is 329 rupees. That means one day it is considered for the 8 hours. So for the 8-hour work, the Beldar it will be given 329 rupees. In the same manner, Kuli will be given 329 rupees for the one day work. So this is the labor component. Students, units it will be day, rate taken from DSR, and the quantity it has been calculated by the practical experience of the engineers. Students, earlier also I have told you the outputs they have been derived from the practical experience. The experienced chief engineers, the retired chief engineers, the panel, they look into the practical work which is done on the site, and by considering that particular work they are calculating the various outputs, and that outputs they are used in preparing these analysis of rates. For example, you can see the outputs for surface excavation. Factors for labor output: per day output of one builder is 13.88 square meter, and per day output of one coolie it is 16.66 square meter. What does this mean? So this means the engineers, the experienced persons, they have observed one builder doing the surface excavation work, and the output which one builder has given for one day. That means for 8 hours, the output is 13.88 square meter. In the same manner, the output given by one coolie that has been observed as 16.66 square meters. So these factors they have been given us by the set of the experienced persons while observing the practical actual amount of work done on the site. So these factors we have to remember, students, and we will calculate the uh, quantity. You can see the item again. We need to calculate this quantity. This quantity of Beldar is 7.20 and the quantity of Kuli is 6. So students, the quantity have been calculated considering the work for 100 square meter, and the per day quantity has been calculated. So how the calculation of the 7.20 and 6 has been taken? This has been taken by considering the output of the labor. You can see this calculation for excavating 13.88 square meter of the soil. Builder required is 1 in number. So for one day, if the welder is doing the excavation work, he will give the output of 13.88 square meter. So Same, we are preparing the analysis for 100 square meter. For excavating the 100 square meter, we will calculate for excavating 100 square meter of soil, the Beldar required will be 1 divided by 13.88 multiplied by the 100, and the quantity will be 7.20. So for excavating the 100 square meter of the soil, the number of Beldars required will be 7.20. In the same manner, for excavating 6.66 square meter of the soil, the coolie required is 1, and we have calculated for the excavation of the 100 square meter of the soil, the number of coolies required will be 6. So this quantity 7.20 for Beldar and 6 for the coolie, that has been taken into this analysis. So students, Beldar, the quantity is 7.20, and for coolie the quantity is 6, which has been derived from the outputs which has been observed by the engineers. So actual work done on this site has been taken into the consideration while deciding these outputs, and from these outputs we have calculated the quantity. So the amount of Beldar, it is 2368.80, and the total amount of the coolie, it is 1974.00. So adding this, it is 4342.80. We will add water charges at the rate of 1% because the water which will be used for this excavation works. So 1% component has been taken, it is 43.43. Then add up, it will be 4386.23. After that, we will add contractor's profit and overhead charges at the rate of 15%, and the total cost of 100 square meter of the surface excavation will be 5044.16. So this is the preparation of the analysis of rates. You may get the question in exam that prepare the analysis of rates for surface excavation. You need to follow this step, you need to follow this format and prepare the analysis of rates for the same. So students, don't confuse these values that delta is 7.20, it is in decimals. Students, you need to be very clear that we are preparing the analysis for 100 square meter of the work. That means the quantity, it may be in decimals, no matters, because we are calculating for the 100 square meter of the work, and the basic purpose is to calculate the amount. For this 100 square meter of the work, the amount which will be given to the builder, that is 2368.80, and the amount which is given to the coolie, that is 1974.00. So the total amount of this particular item costs rupees 5044.15 for 100 square meter of the surface excavation. So this is basically the concept, and this is basically the procedure for preparing the analysis of rates. For preparing the analysis of rates, students, you need to remember the cost of the labor, you need to remember the cost of the material, right? For this particular surface excavation, you need to remember the daily output of the labor which is involved. Labor for this particular item is builder and coolie. Rate for it is rupees 329, and for coolie again it is rupees 329. If we consider the other labor, so it may be mate, which cost rupees 363. It may be the mason costing rupees 377. It may be the blacksmith costing rupees 393. So earlier also I have told you, you need to remember the rates of the labor. It will be very beneficial for you if you remember these rates, because when you are going to go in the fields, you should be aware about the current rates prevailing in the market for the labor and the material. These rates, they may vary from time to time. We are preparing the analysis of rates considering the CPWD analysis 2014. If we consider the analysis of rates for 2019 year, maybe the outputs, they may vary, maybe the rates, they may vary depending upon time to time. the revisions are taken into consideration. So it may be possible the output of the Deldar for 2014, say it was, you can see it was 13.88 square meter. So it may be possible this output also varies in 2019. So these outputs, they have been derived time to time, they have been revised. We are uh, we are following DSR 2014 or analysis of rates 2014. So we are preparing accordingly our analysis of rates. So students, you just correlate this with the DSR, and further we will be discussing in the next lecture the excavation which is exceeding 30 centimeter in depth. This was the excavation which is basically involved the surface excavation. In the next lecture, we will discuss the excavation exceeding 30 centimeter in depth, and which is involving the use of the machinery, that is the hydraulic excavators. So thank you.